is enough, and it's time for a change!
Are you ready?
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah! Get some love!
Ooh, yeah!
With Kinny Killa.
Hey yo! We're in the big D tonight, baby! And we are live! Woo!
I'm the Goddamn Sugar Sugar.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be! Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold said so!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Sunday Segue. As you probably guessed, this is not Kinny Killa, the one man with no Instagram. This is hashtag Tech Guy, Sugs, and he's not with us. He's doing a car boot sale today. So that's how much he loves his public. He'd rather be selling his old copies of his wrestling figures and everything else from the back of his boot. So today we're joined by the head of fan relations, Mr. James Powers.
Hello.
Okay, and we've also got Mr. Michael Cook.
Hello.
And making his debut on the show, we have Mr. Darren Dyer.
Morning, everyone.
Okay, so James, how's it going, mate? You were just telling us about your little trip you had yesterday.
Yes, I went down to Wootton Bassett to collect my relative. Unfortunately, on the way back, I might have had a few issues with traffic. And worst thing about it is the highways agency staff were making it fucking worse, not better. Useless cunts.
There goes our explicit rating on iTunes. See you next Tuesday after 2 minutes on the show. Mr. Cook, how about you? How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm just getting all pumped up for this Beat the Clock challenge. So I'm in the zone like Ken Shamrock.
The thing with these Beat the Clock is the ones who have been talking the most shit, they're the ones who normally lose. That's a reoccurring theme over the past few weeks. Yeah. But you're confident, that you can back it up?
Well, I hope I can. I'm losing my confidence by the minute.
Okay, and Darren Dyer, debut on the show. How you feeling?
Yeah, good, man. Looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming. Kenny's been trying to get me on for ages, but I'm here finally.
Okay, and you actually got to meet the great one himself?
I did, yeah. We went, because I live in Bristol as well, so we were all, like, Vicky Earls came down and Steve Dawson came over from London, and it was just good afternoon out with everybody, really.
So the first official Seg Head guarantee meeting in
That's
Bristol.
It, yeah.
First of many, probably. Did you manage to get a pint out of Kinny or a drink out of him?
No,
when he got his round in, I'd already arrived at the pub, and he got a round in after I'd already got my pint in, so...
Wow. There you go. Do you know what I mean? There's always a plan B with Kinny. You know, keeping his wallet in his pocket. It's probably the elastic band on the wallet. Another drink. Okay, so Darren, every time we have a first guest on the show, making their first appearance, there's two things we want to know, first of all. So who is your favorite wrestler of all time, and who is your current favorite wrestler?
My favorite of all time, I've always said RVD, just for the entertainment value, but like obviously his last couple of runs have been a bit dry, so I'm gonna have to go with Ricky Steamboat on that one.
Okay, so Ricky Steamboat, your favorite of all time, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and favorite current wrestler?
Favorite current wrestler, I would say, talking WWE, Bray Wyatt, but if you're going worldwide, Adam Cole.
Okay, so, and we did used to be able to do Fandango impressions when Fandango was still hot, if he's ever been actually hot. But now we've changed to our Paul Heyman giving out his best Brock Lesnar, which you would have been able to get a good look at on Monday. So can you give us, please, your best Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar impression.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, my client, Brock Lesnar.
So, James, you're going to have to be in the role of Shugs and give your rating.
That was very, very good. Bit not really loud like Paul puts effort into it, but it was good.
Okay, so we just need to improve on the decibel level. But you only get one chance to make that first impression, so you're out of luck. And, okay, so get on with our technical stuff first of all our thank yous, all our shout outs. So the first thing is how to contact us on Sunday Segue. So we've got our Twitter. Hopefully most of you have been following us on Twitter already. That's at Sunday Segue. Mr. Fan Relations, how many followers do you say we're up to now?
106,000 coming.
Okay, that just sounded like Wally. So can you repeat that?
100 and...
I think James has been attacked by robots. So we'll come back to that. But I think we're up in the 900s. You can follow us on Facebook as well. Same at Sunday Segue. Email is at sundaysegue@gmail.com. YouTube channel, Sunday Segue. We're on Stitcher Radio, Podomatic, Mixcloud. And we're really trying to get up the iTunes chart. I don't think we've ever been on the iTunes chart. So if you follow us, and if you have an iPhone, so if you're one of those mindless zombies with an iPhone, then give us a rating on iTunes and get us up the charts. And then, in the words of Kinny Killa, don't forget to download that double twist player. So, James, any shout-outs?
The President 92.
Okay, so, Michael, any shout-outs?
Probably Max Wrestling Magazine and Dazzy at Dazzy Brand as well on Twitter. I represent the Sunday Segue with the Segue Slam article that I do.
Okay, so representing the Seg heads,
yeah.
Keeping it real. And Darren, any shout-outs?
Yeah, I got guys I was with yesterday, obviously Kinny, Vicky Earls, Steve Dawson. And just because she's got the best Twitter handle I've ever seen, girl I talked to on Twitter called Kirsty, her Twitter handle's at WWE Boner.
Okay, so big shout out to at WWE Boner. All right, so we're going to go straight in and we're going to have a look at WWE Battleground, which was last week. We were just speaking to the guys before we went on air. It seems like it was months ago, but it was only 7 days. So Battleground, I don't think many of us expected much from the pay-per-view, and WWE, as always, delivered. So first match was Wyatt against the Usos. 2 out of 3 falls, and lots of us expected maybe a changeover, change the titles, the Wyatts to get the straps, but Usos retained in probably what was the best match of the night. So James, what was your thoughts on this first match and the kickoff to the show, I guess?
It was a good match, best without a doubt. Obviously, again, the referee blew the fucking call with the second pinfall, which seems to be a reoccurring thing with the referees at the minute. They're making mistakes. Doesn't look good on TV.
No, especially if it's if they're blowing calls like left, right, and centre. When one happens every other month or every now and then you probably let it slide. But if there's one happening on every show,
there are two at Battleground. The blew two, same referee blew 2 calls in one night.
It wasn't Black Ref again, was it? he needs a break. Okay, so Michael, what did you think of this first match, the Wyatts against the Usos?
Well, it was clearly match of the night, I thought. But I thought the first 2 falls, the crowd was a bit dead for it, as if they were expecting those 2 falls to come, and they were really into the third fall, which was best like close finishes I've ever seen.
Yeah, there were a lot of those, like, 2.5 counts, or, some really ones where you thought, the Wyatts are going to get it, or the Usos have done it, and I think that's what built the matchup, really, just it whipped the crowd up into, like, a frenzy, more of a, just going for it. So, Darren, what do you think of this first match, and what do you think of the Usos actually retaining, and where they're going to go from here?
I must admit, I actually expected them to retain. I don't know why. I think it's just because like the belts wouldn't suit the character of the Wyatts. But I don't know where they're going to go now, because I've been thinking maybe they'll face Rybaxel, but I can't see that they've got enough momentum to face him at the moment. So I don't know, unless we have like a third match where the Wyatts do take the titles, I'm not sure where else it can go, really.
Yeah, so do you think they'll... But that's the thing, like, if you think the Usos have beat them the last 2 times, do you think they'll go into SummerSlam and get that third match?
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's not like it's going to be a rubber match. If like
No,
the Wyatts had
because
won on
they're
Sunday,
2-0 down already.
Exactly. If you had like the Wyatts had won at Battleground last week, then you've got the rubber match where they would be more than likely to retain at SummerSlam. But I don't know. It's just, I don't think it's been booked very well. I mean, as much as the matches have been really good, the feud hasn't been booked well to sort of make you think that there's going to be a third match. And like there was no follow up to it on Raw.
No, and surely you don't mean the WWE have got no long term planning?
I don't know where you get that idea from.
Yeah, how could you suggest such a thing? Okay, so then we went to our we almost had the same thing with the show and beat the clock challenge, and we had our Ambrose and Rollins backstage fight. We've had to keep Darren and Michael separated so we don't get none of this as well. But what do we think, Michael? What do you think of Ambrose? Not Ambrose. Sorry, Rollins on the mic and his little interview he's done here. When before he got jumped backstage, I thought he was delivering like a good interview.
Yeah.
Good heel tactics.
Yeah, I think is the whole feud's probably one of the things of the summer at the moment. But he's going to get jumped every time he opens his mouth. So
yeah. James, what do you think about the fact that they held off the match? So they promised us the match. Nobody's looking forward to Backlash really, or Battleground, sorry, and then we didn't get the match.
It's the Rota segment in the road in it. They've got to hold something for SummerSlam, because at the minute, half the crowd really ain't bothered about Brock Lesnar versus John fucking Cena again, have they?
No.
So they need something to be an highlighted match, and I think it will be the match at SummerSlam. It'll be fucking epic when it gets going.
Yeah, I think they've built up our anticipation, really. I think, so I suppose you can look at it thinking, they've robbed us of a match, they advertised a match and we didn't get it, but then it makes it, the SummerSlam match, even more important and even bigger.
More.
Yeah. So I suppose we can let him have this one. So Darren, we're on to Paige versus AJ. What do you think of this match? Or do you fast, or is this piss break time?
No, it just wasn't as good as what I thought it was going to be. There was like a few like sloppy moves in there. As much as like the feud's really intriguing, you've got like Paige, who was like the dominant diva in NXT, and then when she came up against Paige, who was the dominant diva on the main roster, I think it could end up being a good feud. Just the chemistry's not there yet. But the match was quite sloppy. I thought I was quite disappointed in it.
I think it was one of those matches JR would call bowling shoe ugly. It looked like there were a lot of botch moves, and it just looked like the chemistry wasn't really there. The stuff outside the ring's not matching what's inside the ring.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts then was the next part where we had Randy Orton looking for Kane in the boiler room. And, he's like, Kane, where are you? Kane. And, he's even cupping his hand just so Kane can actually hear him. And then Kane appeared for this just dodgy segment. Booker T was quality as always on the kickoff panel. I think he just, he only does stuff like this, so he just plays it up when he gets a chance to be on TV. Then we get Rusev against Swagger. Obviously, some controversy in this match with Lana on the mic. So what do we think of this angle, guys? James, what do you think of just the way they started it off, I guess.
Well, they may have been wrong to go there with that kind of angle for Cheap Heat, but she didn't directly reference it. We all know where she was going with it, but didn't directly reference it. And technically, he's from that area, isn't he? So he can support his own. I did think it was a good match. I actually thought at one point Swagger were going to win, but
yeah, I suppose at least they're booking Swagger like stronger than they've been booking everyone else. He's got more offense than Big E ever got. Like, I never thought Big E was going to beat Rusev at all.
This is it. When he had that ankle lock, and I thought, go on. You know, but to win by counter, it's another cheap one, which guarantees another match between them at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Michael, what do you think of the Rusev Swagger feud, and what do you think of the Rusev character? I guess because it seems like Lana is like carrying this feud.
Yeah, she's the vocal thing in this team, basically. He just needs some sort of personality, some sort. But I feel as though he's just gonna go stale, and then Cena will get rid of him, then we won't see him again.
Yeah, it's like because it doesn't seem like he's pulling his weight. That's the thing for me for the Rusev character. It seems like Lana's doing a lot of work, and doesn't seem like Rusev is actually pulling his weight. And, on the other side, I feel like Swagger has done a good job, maybe because he's just surprising us. Because we're used to, Jack Swagger just being nothing. So now he's actually doing something. He seems like he's impressive. Okay, so we had the Rollins Ambrose, the great fight, Triple H coming out and everything, the road agents, all that shit was really good. But then we had Jericho against Bray Wyatt. So, Darren, what did you think of this match? Especially the fact that Jericho came back because he wanted to have this program with Wyatt.
I quite enjoyed it, actually. I mean, it was the one result that I didn't get right out of the ones that I put, obviously, the predictions that I had. But I quite enjoyed it. There was like a botched, he does like a gut buster, doesn't he, Bray Wyatt, where he sort of picks his opponent up and sort of drives his gut into the knee. But he botched that at first, but then like he did it again straight away. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I just didn't expect the result, that was all.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of us really expected Jericho to win. Because it seems like, same with the John Cena feud, like, they push Bray Wyatt, but then they don't actually then beat anyone. But,
yeah.
Okay, Intercontinental Battle Royale. Michael, what did you think of this? Battle Royales, again?
It was a good match after looking back. When I first watched it, I was wanting to throw my iPad at the telly because every time The Miz rolled outside the ring, I thought, oh, he's won this. Oh, no. But looking back, what a heel move for The Miz to win. Just hiding. But shame the cameraman caught him
and
right next to the commentary table.
Jerry Lawler kept saying, oh, The Miz is right there. Rather, so, if you were actually paying attention, you would remember, rather than it be a surprise.
But there was a good spot with Kofi Kingston when he jumped on Big E's shoulders when he was getting eliminated. I thought that was good.
Yeah. Well, Kofi's little bit of Battle Royale or, Royal Rumble spot. James, what did you think of Bad News Barrett coming out? He looked pretty emotional to me at the beginning.
I thought the bad news bit was the best thing about that fucking entire segment. rest were just poor. And did anybody notice that when Alberto Del Rio got eliminated, he actually went through the fucking ropes and the referee still said he was eliminated?
Yeah, I don't think they care about Del Rio. Okay, and then we have the title match, Fatal 4-Way, Cena, Orton, Kane, and Reigns. Was anyone surprised? Darren, were you surprised by this result? Did you get this right on your predictions?
I did, but I also said that if Cena didn't win, I would go for Kane to win, just to sort of mix it up a bit with the authority. But it wasn't really that interested in the match as a match. I didn't think. Like Roman looks like he's still being protected as well, like being in these multi-man matches. But if he's going to be this next big star, they need to sort of put him in more singles matches really on the big pay-per-views.
Yeah. So, Michael, what did you think of the reaction to Reigns by the crowd?
I thought it was a positive reaction, really, and I thought this match really teased like a Reigns Cena match down the line. Maybe not the Brock Lesnar one.
Yeah.
I think they're wanting to see that more.
Well, they're saying the long-term booking is going to be Reigns Lesnar at WrestleMania, but do we think that Reigns is ready for that type of thing? Because WrestleMania, we're almost halfway there now. Do you think he'll be ready to take on like Brock Lesnar then?
Ooh, I'm not sure about that because he's only just starting his single push now.
Yeah. I think if we were to say like it was next year, like WrestleMania, like 32 or whatever, another 18 months, but not 6 months time or whatever,
It seems just too quick.
Yeah,
he needs to get his mic skills sorted first.
Okay, so what score are we going to give to Battleground, James?
3, and that's all for Usos match, and
3
that's it.
8 of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
5 out of 10.
5, and Darren.
6.
6. I would probably give it a 5 myself. But yeah, I suppose if I'm paying $9.99 a month, it wouldn't really bother me. But if I'm paying full price for a pay-per-view, then I'd be pissed if I pay my money for that.
It's only like £6 a month once you convert dollars to pounds.
Well, there you go. Even better. I wouldn't mind for £6 a month. Okay, so let's get on to Raw. So at segment 1, we got Triple H, Reigns, Orton, and Kane Angle. They're in the ring. What do we think of Triple H ripping on the IWC, saying about he's going to send a tweet, James?
One thing that I got with that is I get what he's doing. I get that they're putting across they'll do what they want. But 1 minute you've got your commentary begging people to fucking bite network. Next minute you're insulting them.
Yeah. I thought I suppose it's a good use of this heel character, Triple H, and it's like, we're in the reality era, so he's talking about people getting pissed and people, smashing up their WrestleMania DVDs and stuff like that. But, yeah, I suppose it goes against them begging you for the next 3 hours to sign up for the network.
It's people, if they want the network, they'll buy the network. If they don't, they don't. What you need, they need to take the fucking restriction away, because by WWE's own statistics, 20% of sign-ups are out at United States anyway. So just set it up appropriately and then set the fucking limits all the way around the world, and then they'll get people. Because you've got some goody two-shoes people who won't break the law.
Yeah.
Hello.
Or people who don't know how to do it. People who are not going to invest that time and try and, get an IP blocker or whatever, and just they're going to sit in and waiting. But then there's no good advertising it, because we all get the same advertisements and half of us can't have it. So it's just James has gone. All right, well, we'll try and wait for him to connect. All right, so Orton comes out, says he's still owed a title shot, and Kane said he's tired of babysitting. So then, Michael, we get Roman Reigns saying nobody wants to see Cena against Orton or Kane. What do you think of Roman Reigns in this bit at the beginning?
Oh, well, he looked like the cool babyface here. I liked how he says, and nobody wants to see Orton and Cena again.
Yeah, I think they're trying to book him, trying to give a bit of his personality into it. But what do we think of his actual mic skills at the moment then, Darren? What do we think how do we think he comes across?
He's quite monotonal. He just needs to sort of maybe go down to the performance center and just sort of work on enhancing his tones of voice.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently they've just hired a top acting coach. So I don't know, maybe if you could get say 10 sessions with this acting coach or whatever, it could help him.
I think maybe he just wasn't on NXT for long enough.
Yeah.
He had a character change.
I think he had 4 episodes.
He had a character change on NXT, and then he was just in the Shield. So he hasn't really settled. This is the longest character he's been, and then he doesn't really say anything. He hasn't done anything for like 18 months, really. Believe in the Shield. And that's it. So maybe he'll come, maybe he'll get the Hollywood accent coach, or maybe Miz can help him. Okay, so we get Kane and Orton against Reigns. What do we think of this one, James?
I fully expected Reigns to win because they're going all out push. I actually personally don't think they're going to wait while WrestleMania next year with him. I think they're going to go with it at Night of Champions because that is the night everybody's subscription ends for network, so they need something big to get people to re-fucking sign.
I think they're going to go with Reigns.
I reckon that Brock Lesnar beats Cena for the title, Brock Lesnar loses to Reigns, Reigns beats the belt, will beat the streak, and they've got the new star. Because it's being majorly rumoured now, isn't it, that Cena's not going to re-sign when he's done next September. He's off to Hollywood.
Wow. They're going to be, whether they are going to be fucked if that happens, but they're probably panicking. They're probably shitting themselves if Cena's not going to re-sign. But, how could you complain if he didn't? He's done enough.
Well, they'll get a Legends deal out of him, won't they? He'll do sporadic appearances like Rock does. Like he said he'd never do that, but that's looking like he's going to do.
I don't think they could begrudge John Cena whatever he did because he's had numerous injuries and he comes back and he works every fucking day. So what can you do?
I don't think they'd panic as much if they knew for a fact they'd got Daniel Bryan, but they don't know how his injury's playing out.
You fucked as well. Okay, so the next segment we get is Steph and Nikki and Brie Bella. So Darren, what do we think of this? Stephanie comes out and all of a sudden Brie Bella's in the crowd, and what do you think of just how this angle went down?
I enjoyed it. I never actually thought I'd say that I'd enjoy something that the Bellas have done, but I'm actually quite into it. It's like Stephanie's playing a proper brilliant bitch of a boss. Brilliant. Kind of like what her dad was back in the Attitude Era. And Nikki's like just sort of Brie's just not taking any of her shit. I love it. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, Michael, did you think that Brie Bella did a good job? When she's showing her ticket and she's getting in Stephanie's face?
Oh yeah, she did a good job with that. I mean, this was a great star line for the night, for it eventually would happen. And her saying "bitch," she looks as though she really means it. And when she said it, and that guy behind him had that shocked look on it.
And then obviously you get the beatdown on Nikki. She gets rolled out the ring. Do you think that Nikki Bella's playing a good part in this, or it's more of a Brie and Stephanie feud, James?
Oh, I think it's heading towards a match at SummerSlam between Stephanie and Brie. Because it's like on dirt sheets, they said Trish Stratus said that she'd been asked to go to SummerSlam for a reason. James is thinking that's to referee that. Okay. Did anybody notice the nip slip?
Yeah, I think, even if you missed it, there'll be plenty of people around to remind you. Yeah, but I suppose that's the most positive impact Nikki Bella had on the show. So next we get the most inspirational person in wrestling today, Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
Against Damien Sandow, comes out in a Miami Heat jersey with Miami crossed out and Cleveland on there. So Darren, obviously it's your first time on the show. What do you think of Bo Dallas and the way that Damien Sandow has been booked at the moment?
Well, Sandow's he's like obviously like a comedy character, and it's a shame because obviously like this time last year he was a Money in the Bank winner and he had a really good feud with Cody Rhodes, and then since he lost the briefcase, it's just been downhill. And I don't mind the Bo Dallas character as such. It's just I don't think he's quite there in the ring yet.
No, it's similar with Brie as well. Like lots of people like his outside work, but they're not convinced with his actual in-ring stuff. Oh, he's a lot further ahead than Bo is.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've both got like the basic fundamentals. It's just there's nothing there to sort of make you sort of stand up and think, "Holy shit, that was awesome!" Like Bray's had some good matches, obviously, but Bo's probably had 2 good matches down in NXT, and he's not had anything on the main roster. Really, has he?
Michael, what are your thoughts on Bo Dallas?
Well, he's amazing, isn't he? So...
Oh my god!
Oh, I love it. Yeah, he's good, but I just don't have him against another heel. I don't get that. We're supposed to.
Yeah, it seems like the booking sort of like hit and miss. It seems like they book Bo against everyone. They haven't really put him up against, heels and faces. They've just booked him against everyone and let him be himself.
Yeah, I mean, put him against a heel like Sandow, and then have Bo be busy mates with The Miz later in the week and on SmackDown.
Yeah, so
weird.
So Bo is now 16 and Bo, carrying on. Do we think there's any sign of him losing anytime soon, or do you think he's going to keep getting pushed?
No. He's going
I think
continue.
He's unbeatable.
Wouldn't you all just mark out though if you were 20 flaming 1-0 and Brock Lesnar come out?
But I'd still fancy him against Lesnar. That running Bo, it's hard to get out of that.
Ball leave.
Yeah. Okay, so segment 5 we get Jericho and the Wyatts, the highlight reel. We see that Jericho got beat down backstage. He took Sister Abigail into the locker. What do we think of Brie this time, James? Is promo good or bad?
Promos just seem to be getting old, and it's like the player saying in backstage segments and he's been attacked backstage, and then you see it when he's clearly getting attacked in Tampa Bay fucking Buccaneers locker room with the film Battleground. So why say he's backstage? Why not just say that he attacked him last night after filming Battleground had done?
People are going to be as observant as you.
You can hardly miss it with fucking Tampa Bay jersey there, can you?
I suppose, Michael, these Wyatt promos, like, sometimes they seem like they're a bit nonsensical. Other times they seem like they're really to the point. Do you think that he needs to, like, change up? Or do you think that we're just not appreciating
him? The promos are great. The only problem is that it doesn't work when he keeps losing, or winning with the help from the Wyatts. All the talking and all the lights on the phones are great, but if he's not winning and making himself a legit main event heel, it's just going to be a waste of time.
Really, shouldn't he?
Yeah, his demon child.
Darren, what do you think? Like Michael just touched on it there about this entrance, and everyone with the cell phones. It's like every week it's really impressive.
I love it. I think it's really good because it's just sort of like it started off from just nothing, and then just the next week it was all there. It was just like some sort of phenomenon, wasn't it?
I think
I love it. I think it's brilliant.
What it is they've got other irons in the fire. I think if they wanted to, they could just push him to the moon, Bray Wyatt, and just go with him. But like we've said, they're more interested in reigns, and there's always the Cena factor, and they don't want him having the Intercontinental title or the US title. So there's nothing else for him to go for unless he's going to be like sort of like this legend killer like Randy Orton, but then they have him lose to Jericho. So it's probably just another example of no long-term booking. Jericho against Wyatt, that sounds great. They're both great on the mic, but they don't know what they're going to do with him. And then Vince McMahon probably decides 45 minutes before the pay-per-view, Jericho wins. Because Jericho lost a Fandango at WrestleMania, so he's got no problem with losing. But,
I mean, Wyatt should have won the first match, so the babyface has a reason for the second match.
You beat me in the locker room, so now I'm going to beat you again. Exactly. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get Paige and AJ. No, actually, we get Miz against Ziggler. So a rematch because, obviously Ziggler got cheated out of the title in a battle royale. So, Michael, what are your thoughts on Ziggler?
They just don't seem to want to give him any sort of title. But he's having great matches. So he's having great matches, but they don't want to push him.
Do you think he's his own worst enemy?
It's a weird one.
Like he's got too much to say for himself?
Possibly. Yeah, that's definitely not helping.
Yeah. James, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the new Miz character.
It's appalling. It's absolutely appalling. They've got no for him, so they built that around. He's a movie star. Yeah, he's done 2 films that have gone straight to DVD. So
what do you think of that
movie
new,
star.
how they've changed his Titantron and tweaked his entrance?
Oh, with this motion picture thing, yeah, and then tell it referee that he can't beat it face. That's just like fucking Rick Model Mantel back in the day, isn't it?
There are no new ideas,
can't hit me in the
only
face.
old ideas that just get recycled.
Oh, they need to recycle some because I honestly think, realistically, as I said to Tony Walker the other day, I reckon Zack Ryder's more chance of winning IC title than Dolph Ziggler ever has. Because Triple H just seems to fucking hate Dolph
Darren,
Ziggler.
What did you think of the actual match? Because this was probably a contender for like match of the night, which is surprising because it had the Miz in.
Yeah, I mean they've always seemed to have good chemistry. I mean, like I think off screen they're like really close friends. So I think that probably helps. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. And it sort of makes you think that, like, maybe at SummerSlam you'll get The Miz versus Ziggler for the title because, like, Ziggler winning a non-title match kind of gives him a reason now to have the title match.
I thought I'm more interested in The Miz than I've been probably since he was champ. I think for a change he's not being forced down our throat. So they haven't, like, told us, everyone support The Miz, he's a face now. And we're like, nah, we still hate him. So now he's just being himself, and we can enjoy hating him, which is good. So I do agree. I suppose it's James. Don't you think it is different enough from Tyler Breeze for them both to be able to be on the same roster, or do you think it's just a blatant rip-off?
I think it's a blatant rip-off. I can't see how they could work it side by side unless, realistically, they argue the fact that, I'm the movie star. Go down that aisle arguing who's the movie star, but then you just look at them arguing at ring and you just think John Cena stood fucking watching him.
Okay, so we get Rollins, Triple H, and Cesaro backstage. Darren, what do you think of the fact that we didn't get any breakup between Paul Heyman and Cesaro?
Well, I'm not surprised because there wasn't really like a formal breakup of the Shield, was there? It was just like they were there 1 week and then they weren't. It was just the same with Heyman and Cesaro.
It was a bit of a breakup.
Yeah, I mean, with like Ambrose and Reigns because they were still tagging together the next week. But then, Cesaro's career has just sort of gone 10 steps backwards since WrestleMania, hasn't it? Like they should have turned him while he was hot at WrestleMania. And I'm kind of glad it's over.
Michael, so what do you really think the difference between somebody like Cesaro is and somebody like Ziggler we just spoke about? Because there doesn't seem to be any much faith in either of them. When us lot want to see him doing well, and the crowd seem to enjoy him, and the WWE doesn't want to do anything with him.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, Cesaro won that Battle Royal, and you think, he's the big push, turn him face. But then they put him with Heyman. So they basically used Cesaro as just somebody for Heyman to come up the ring to. So they've just used Cesaro just to help Heyman promote.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that maybe it's a consequence of them unifying the titles that there's less for people to go for, because at least when you had a world champion and the WWE champion, there was this secondary main title that you could go for. you know. Whereas now there's the WWE title and nothing.
I feel if there was the brand separation, he would have more of a chance of winning.
And still, like, one of the highlights was when Ziggler cashed in his Money in the Bank and was world champion. It didn't work out too well, but we're not going to get anything like that again. So now we get Paige and AJ versus Emma and Nataylia. James, what do we think of the match? You know, was sort of by the by, but what do we think of finally Paige heel turn?
It was fucking awesome, wasn't it? She fucked AJ up good and right. That was one of the most violent Divas segments I've ever seen. You don't normally get that from Divas. It's normally bitch slapping and stuff, not like really violent like that. I think they can run with this for a long time.
Or any soft drinks. I thought
she
the giveaway
skipped away.
was really good. So Michael, do you think it's a blessing that AJ is back in the Divas division?
Yeah, because I think a feud with Paige is going to be great. But the two anti-Divas feuding, and I'm glad now that we both know what they are now. Paige is a heel, AJ is a face. But Paige saying this is my house all the time. She needs to think of a different line, because that was getting too repetitive.
How do you want Paige to go on from here now? Just to go and just fuck up all the Divas?
Yeah, I mean, and if she does that, not necessarily worry about if people are heel or face. Kind of be like Austin was in the Attitude Era, just fuck up anybody and not care who they are.
I just think that, she now seems like she's got a character. She didn't really have one. She sort of turned up, beat AJ, but didn't really have a character. Apart from being British and apart from being really pale. That was it. That's not a character. So we get Fandango against Ryder. Well, what can we say about this? Michael, I'll give you the chance. You draw the short straw. What did you think about this?
Oh, no. It was just a waste of time, really. I mean, Ryder won for the first time in ages.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. But it just did nothing for anybody. It was just the Layla Summerslam angle.
Nobody else.
Yeah. So Fandango and Ryder doesn't really matter.
James, as a resident official, what did you think of the refereeing in this match?
Oh, it was poor. He fucking out referee saw him fucking foot off at rope.
Yeah. Who was this guy? He looked like he was about 12 years old, this ref.
He's fetched him up from NXT, haven't they? Because they make some cuts, NXT refs, some of them are working in roster as well.
Black ref, mate. Do you know what I mean? This guy
No,
doesn't
they got rid of him,
properly, Come on, if you want something done properly. Exactly.
Brad Maddox.
Where is Brad? He hasn't been released, is he, Brad Maddox?
No, he's in a cave somewhere. He keeps putting videos up.
Okay, so we get that. It's more about pushing the girls. I thought Layla's, looking good as well. Summer Rae doesn't really do it for me. She's more annoying. She's in the Marine. Is she in the same film as The Miz? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, we get Steph arrested. So this was just the best angle of the night. This is probably the best part of Raw, I think, since the Mark Henry retirement speech. This is the one that's got me more gassed than anything else. James, what did you think of Stephanie's performance in this part?
It was flaming brilliant, and I thought it was brilliant that they added a personal touch that the officers were reading her a Miranda rights. You've never seen that with any segment like that before.
Her face was just she couldn't believe it. It was a mix between you can't arrest me, I'm Stephanie McMahon, but oh shit, I'm being arrested. She was really, really scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
It almost seemed real, didn't it, in a way?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't reading the rights with a microphone. So we just like silent. You have to listen
and
so it felt real.
Another one that sparked the internet going. This time, Darren, was when Stephanie was put in the handcuffs, and her augmentation was more obvious than normal.
Oh, she's let herself
Well,
go.
you know, maybe that's just the effect that handcuffs have on silicone. We don't know. Yeah, but I thought it was really good. And obviously Triple H then is talking to her through the car window, and she's like saying, "I'm scared." And then he shouted for, who did he shout for? Jimmy. And so there's been some speculation to who Jimmy was, but nobody really figured out. Yeah. So
yeah, because you got Joey,
obviously
not Jimmy.
Backstage we get Joey Mercury, just his first actual proper appearance on WWE TV for like, I don't know, since the ladder bust his face open probably. And he convinces Triple H not to go to prison. So, Michael, what did you think of this, the way Triple H just actually was justifying his decision not to go to prison?
This must have been the funniest thing Triple H has done in ages. I mean, I've watched it back loads of times and been like, yeah, well, they'll need to process her, won't they? Yeah, keep the car on hold.
Seinfeld, where they go and stay with Jerry's parents, and they're trying to count off the days between saying, well, it's literally 2 days. If you think about it, it's 2 days. If you've ever seen that one where he sleeps on the uncomfortable couch, classic Seinfeld. That was probably the best part of the show. Then we go on to another one that's going to get us a bit of controversy. The Big E, Kofi, Rybaxel angle. So, Ryback rolls through on a crossbody from Kofi, so they win. And then, obviously, the interesting part happens after the match. Suddenly, Xavier Woods is teleported into the ring. And then he gets on the mic and speaks to Kofi and Big E and talks to him about they're going to take charge and, you know, they just need to start taking things for themselves. So, James, I'll give you the first chance. What did you actually think of what Xavier would say, and what do you think, where do you think they're going with it?
First of all, well, what the fuck's he wearing?
Yeah. Robbed the suit off Brother Love.
It seemed like they were like pointing towards a Nation Point 2.0, but could they really go that again? And there's now rumours that say Mark Henry's going to join this fold. So if Mark Henry goes with them, what happens to R-Truth?
Yeah.
Can't have them all in and not R-Truth, can we?
No. And obviously, from SmackDown, they don't want Titus. So, so Michael, what were your initial thoughts on there?
I thought, well, at least there's something different for Kofi Kingston to get involved with, because I thought he was getting very stale. You just have the same character for ages.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, but is it going to be a heel turn, or are they going to be a face group? That's what we'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, because a few of us were tweeting in the week about this, and you know we had some different views on it. So before we go on, Darren, what were your initial thoughts when you saw Xavier Woods in the ring? And obviously we see three black guys in the ring. So did that instantly make you think that is the way the angle is going?
Yeah, I just thought it's got Nation of Domination written all over it, and then obviously there's been talk getting Mark Henry involved as well, like James said. So, and I think that would work. Like the only person that would really benefit from it really would be Kofi, because like Xavier Woods is fairly new to the roster, and Mark Henry's like he was in the initial Nation of Domination. He's coming to the end of his career.
Yeah.
And Big E's he's had a run as a heel, and now he's had a run as a face. And
yeah.
If they do turn heel, I think the only person who's going to benefit really is Kofi.
Yeah, I think that Woods is obviously the best talker. He's been on the roster the shortest time, but he's the best talker of the three. I just think that it's one of those situations where, is it because we are conditioned to think that's the only way that the WWE can book their like African American performers, that it must instantly be Nation 2.0? You know, so is it we're judging them by what they've done in the past? So because there's three black guys, then the only way they can actually book them is to be like, we're black guys and we're unhappy. Do we think?
Yes, it's like...
Yeah, go carry on.
Sorry. I was going to say it's like a stigma that's attached to the WWE,
Yeah,
isn't it?
definitely.
Where you just know that somewhere along the line they're going to repeat something that's been done 10, 15 years
and
ago.
it's like being black is not a character trait, but that seems like the only character trait they can apply to their wrestlers. You know, and it's just like, if you think how successful Mark Henry's been, apart from when he was Attitude Era Henry, you know, his best character has been House of Pain. You know, Welcome to the Hall of Pain, that had nothing to do with him being a black performer. That had him being the world's strongest man. You know,
just being a badass.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping that this angle is going to be like, we're sick of being on the mid card. You know, we want to, a bit like the Shield were. You know, we're going to take things for ourselves. Kofi's never been booked properly. You know, so I'm going to just make shit happen myself. Big E, they can't decide what to do with me. I'm going to make shit happen to do myself, and I hope they don't go the race angle, but it's probably going to happen, innit? It's obvious.
Do you think they should add like a Ryder or Ziggler?
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily the way they need to go. It doesn't seem like they need to bring, like, nobody thinks they're holding Kofi back or he's been mid-card because he's black and they changed him being from Ghana and Jamaica. It's because they give him shit his whole career. You know, everyone remembers when he beat Randy Orton in Madison Square Garden. And then what did they do with him? Just sent him shuffling back to the mid-card. And there's no different to what's happening with these than Cesaro or Ziggler. So why can't they be in there?
Yeah.
Wait and see. It's one of those wait and see things, I guess. So we go from there to Rusev against the Punjabi playboy himself, the great Khali. James?
I think Michael just said it best. Match of the year. Khali couldn't even sell accolade rated because he's that bloody big, isn't he? So
I just think, like, why are they putting this guy on TV? Like, you know, come on.
Just filler time, isn't it?
Yeah,
but has he still got a job when they got rid of people like Flaming Evan Bourne, you know?
Obviously, they've got rid of Jinder, so he's the only one who's applying to, like, a certain demographic or a certain area, so they're just going to keep him, you know? It's like, whatever reason that they got to keep Del Rio, apart from he's one of their top Latino performers.
Apparently he's Mexico's greatest export.
Exactly. Alright, so that is sort of nothing. Stardust, Goldust. This will be another one. James, what are your thoughts on these two?
Watching that one on Monday Night Raw, I thought they both needed a psychiatric doctor immediately. They're just doing like weird segments backstage when we're not actually physically seeing many matches in ring the last couple of weeks. But I still reckon they'll be the ones who'll get the tag title shot at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to see them. If they need to heal it up though, don't they? If they're gonna go against Usos.
Oh yeah, exactly. They need to heal it up and tease dissension between the Sens. But I don't think they'll go with Goldust versus Cody anymore because I think Cody likes the old Stardust gimmick.
Well, one thing you've got to give to Cody Rhodes is he'll go with it, won't he? Whatever they give him, he'll go with it. Like the mustache, he went with it. When he was dashing Cody Rhodes and he had the face mask, he went with it. You know, he gets into character.
Oh, yeah, that is one of the few who can get into character. I tell you, one of the worst ones who's never been able to get into character and is still employed now. Rey Mysterio, face or heel, it's like.
Yeah.
He wants to smile all the time, even if he's meant to be an heel.
Okay. So we get anyone else, guys? Who before we go on, any thoughts on Goldust or where they're taking this tag team?
I just like the mention of the Cosmic K all the time.
It was great.
Master of the Universe.
Yeah, I just think that I want to see him wrestle because I love the way that he changed his whole offense. He changed everything. Just from 1 week to the next. He was Stardust and changed everything in the ring straight away. And, like, probably 99% of the roster wouldn't be able to do that. Cena hasn't done it in 15 years, and Cody done it in a week.
Yeah.
Alright, so pushing on, we get Cesaro against Ambrose. Darren, what do you think of these two in the ring together? It was a fresh matchup.
It was good. Yeah, it was good, but the crowd disappointed me because they didn't really get into it as much as I hoped they would. Like, Ambrose is just the complete psychopath at the moment, but in a good way. And Cesaro's the guy who 4 months ago was like more over than most of the baby faces on the roster, even as a heel. And the crowd just, it was just too quiet for me. They weren't into it as much as I thought or hoped they would be.
Yeah, I just think that I think they deserve more from the crowd, like these two, the way they were going for it. Definitely. Yeah. And then, what did you think, Michael, of the DQ finish? The way that Ambrose was just like, "Fuck this, I'm getting a chair."
Well, I suppose it works well with his like chaos type character. But I wish they just wouldn't do DQs all the time. That seems to be the go-to finish at the moment.
To beat anyone these days,
Yeah.
heels or faces, or people they're pushing or not. It just seems to be a lot of DQs.
Yeah.
Okay, so closing the show, we get Triple H's SummerSlam announcement. Obviously, the crowd start calling for Brock. We get tease of Orton coming out. Reigns comes out and fucks him up. And then Paul Heyman comes out. They shake hands, but then Triple H leaves, and Paul Heyman goes on to give one of the best promos in recent memory. James, what did you think of Heyman on the mic?
Paul Heyman's gold on the mic. He's always going to be gold on the mic, but why they just don't let him play it to other people as well as Brock Lesnar? Because I'm one of these, end of the day, they strip Daniel Bryan because he can't defend title in 3 months, but yet they're looking to go 9 months as a champion with Lesnar, doing 4 fucking shows a year.
Yeah. Michael, what did you think of the Heyman promo?
Oh, he's fantastic, but like James said, why could he not talk like this with
imagine
Cesaro?
he had done this for Cesaro instead of talking about Brock Lesnar for the whole time.
Yeah, he wouldn't be in that position that he's in now.
Yeah.
But I thought when he was saying what he was going to do to Cena, and the first thing that came to my head was Cena will kick out at 2. So, that's what it would be. It'd be just the same as the Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, I just thought, it was just great. It's good. It's always good to see Lesnar back. Darren, what do you think is going to happen, or how they're going to go from here to SummerSlam after this great promo?
It's a difficult one, really, isn't it? Because of Brock's dates in his contract. So, I mean, like, he'd probably be there for like the most of the time on Raw. Then also, obviously, you get the awesome Heyman promos when he's not there. But they're on about doing 2 pay-per-views, aren't they? Like Night of Champions as well. So, it's interesting. I don't know where they'll go with it as SummerSlam, but it's interesting with Brock working Night of Champions as well.
Just good to see Lesnar back, and I suppose at least when it's Lesnar against Cena, at least we've got that thought that actually Cena might not win.
Yeah.
Cena's never lost to Lesnar. 7 matches to Cena, 7-0.
Backlash 2003.
No, he doesn't count that one, does he? He doesn't count it. He counts it as referee interference. There's a place you can go on that, I forgot what website it is. It lists every WWE match there's ever been and how it finished. I've got links somewhere. I'll post it when I find it.
Okay, so that's the end of Raw. So, James, what's your Raw rating?
I get it 8 out of 10. The Steph thing was just fucking awesome.
I agree. Michael?
Yeah, 8 out of 10. Each match, bar the Rusev one, had an angle, which I think is a good thing. It should happen every week.
Okay, and Darren?
I got 7.5.
7.5. Okay, so I would probably give it 7.5 or an 8, just for the Stephanie. She's just so good on the show. Got some Raw and some Battleground feedback. So first up is Joshua Smith. Battleground was dull and boring and became an effort. Not fun to watch. I want my money back if I had paid for it. Raw was good in parts, very talkative. For example, the first Triple H segment, which was good but just too long. Enjoyed the way Stephanie acted when getting arrested. However, it was poorly done and poorly produced. They announced Brock Lesnar, despite knowing it was him, made me excited for SummerSlam. Glad Paige turned on AJ. It's about time we saw something we want. Steve Dawson. If I could describe Battleground in one word, it would be clunky. Lots of potentially great matches, just didn't really get going or gel. Tag openers, one of the matches of the year. Paige AJ has potential, but too botchy, and they need to work on the in-ring chemistry. Not having Rollins Ambrose was a stroke of genius. Fans will be rabid to see it by SummerSlam. Rest was very much meh. Brie Jericho was disappointing with the wrong result, and Lana's pre-match comments were too far. Raw had its moments. Paige heel turn came across well. Heyman's promo was great. Ryder won a damn match. Woods' turn trying to form a shit nation domination made me laugh. Also having the Hollywood ball bag as IC champ is great because he's such a fucking dickhead. Already desperate for someone to kick his face in. And last one from Anthony Walker. Average Battleground is right. Lots of bullshit went down. Raw was very good. A new nation ? And Brock Lesnar next world champion. That is it for the first part of the show. We're going to go into the break now, and after the break, we're going to have Smackdown in 60 seconds, Sugs Stunners, and Beat the Clock Trivia, Michael Cook v. Darren Dyer, a.k.a. Rollins v. Ambrose. So make sure you come back.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kinny Killa and the Galdem Sugar Sugs.
Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
Welcome back to the Sunday Segue. I'm joined this week by Head of Fan Relations James Powers, our guest Michael Cook, and making his debut on the show, Darren Dyer. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into SmackDown in 0.25 seconds. So the first match, the Usos defeated Rybaxel, rolling up on Curtis Axel. Bo Dallas with The Miz defeated Dolph Ziggler by roll-up. So that I think he means he's 17 and Bo. A no DQ match with Dean Ambrose defeated Cesaro by roll-up. Paige with Cameron defeated Naomi with the PTO. Then we get Bray Wyatt with the Wyatt family defeated R-Truth with his sister Abigail. And in the main event, Roman Reigns defeated Alberto Del Rio by pin following the spear. Hold on, because you're going to get stunned. It is Sugs Stunners. Jobber of the week. I'm going to throw this one out to the crowd. I'm going to let Darren give this one out as it's your first. So, SmackDown, Raw, even Backlash, a jobber of the week.
Fandango, because he lost to the ultimate jobber, Zack Ryder.
Yeah, I suppose that if you're losing to Zack Ryder, you know that you're actually, you're like the drip tray in the bar of the WWE. Move of the week. James Powers, move of the week. What's the thing that made you sit up off your seat and be like, oh shit?
Roman Reigns spear to Alberto Del Rio on SmackDown.
Okay, on SmackDown. And Michael Cook, wrestler of the week.
If not Bo Dallas, Roman Reigns, I'll go for.
So we're going to go with Bo Dallas, 17 and Bo. Okay, so right about now we would have the Segue weekly poll, but I don't know how to get on there. Kinny sent it to me on WhatsApp and I just deleted it because he talks shit. So we're going to go straight through to Beat the Clock Trivia, Tournament Round 1. Michael, Seth Rollins Cook against Darren Dean Ambrose Dyer in a Beat the Clock tournament round. So, James, you're going to do the questions, yeah?
Aye.
Okay, that's good. So, Darren, seeing as this is your debut on the show, do you want questions set A or B?
A, please.
A. Okay. So, this is a bit like on Ghostbusters where you choose your own demise. So you chose A, so hopefully A won't be the Stay Puft. And Michael, do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
Oh, I'll go first. But
Okay.
there's a stipulation: whoever loses has to wear a Cena shirt.
Okay, so do you both own a Cena shirt?
No.
No.
No, so you have to purchase one. I would,
Yeah.
maybe a pink one. Yeah, pink or the lime green, they're particularly shitty.
Yeah.
All right, so James, over to you, mate.
Right, Michael, you're going first. Well, 1 second. Let me get my clock up. Right, we're
Do
ready.
you want me to time?
I've got a clock. I'm good.
Okay, that's good.
Right, in 3, 2, 1. Bret Hart defeated Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam Undertaker's 1997. Ow.
Shawn Michaels swung the chair and hit the Undertaker.
Correct. Who was the leader of the Un-Americans?
Lance Storm.
Good. Who did Jack Swagger cash the Money in the Bank in against?
Cena.
No.
Pass.
Ray Leppen is the real name of which WWE superstar?
Pass.
Who did Cesaro debut against?
Ryder.
No.
Santino.
No.
Pass.
Whose finisher is the Dungeon Lock?
Oh, pass.
Name 2 people Christian has been tag team champions with.
Edge. Chris Jericho.
Yep, correct. And that's of it.
Oof.
Michael's got 3. 3 to beat Mr. Dyer.
Oh.
No pressure.
Reset my clock. You ready, Darren?
Yeah, go for it.
3, 2, 1. Bret Hart defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. Ow.
He passed out. Austin passed out in the sharpshooter.
Correct. Who was the Nation of Domination's manager?
Pass.
Who did CM Punk cash his second Money in the Bank in against?
Jeff Hardy.
Correct. Jonathan Good is the real name of who?
Dean Ambrose.
Correct. Who did Damien Sandow debut against?
Pass.
Whose finisher is the Smash 8?
Heath Slater.
Correct. Name 2 people Cody Rhodes has been tag team champions with.
Ted DiBiase and Goldust.
Correct. Where is Fandango billed from?
The dance floor.
No.
Pass.
Who won the 1996 King of the Ring?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Correct. What year did Ric Flair retire?
2008.
Correct. And that's it. Time's up.
Oh.
5, 6. Darren scores 7.
Wow.
Oh.
Mr. Dyer defeats Mr. Cook.
Oh, no.
Wow. A good effort. What do you want to go through the questions they didn't get, James?
Right, questions you didn't get right. Michael, who first and you didn't get? Who did Jack Swagger cash his Money in the Bank in against? Chris Jericho. Ray Leppen is the real name of Adam Rose. Who did Cesaro debut against? Tyson Kidd. Whose finisher is the Dungeon Lock? Tyson Kidd.
Oh.
And the 2 that, 3, that Darren got wrong. Nation of Domination's manager was Clarence Mason. Who did Damien Sandow debut against was Yoshitatsu. And Fandango is billed from Standish, Maine.
Okay, so a bit of a landslide victory there. And Mr. Cook, I expect to see some Twitter evidence of you sporting the hustle, loyalty, respect, like the rest of the C Nation. Okay, so you'll wear your colours proud.
Yeah.
Your time is now, young man. Your time is now. Okay, so thanks to the guest this week. So we have James Powers, head of fan relations. James, any shout outs or where can people get a hold of you?
Pleasure as always coming on. You can follow me on like me on Facebook, or follow me on Twitter at JamesPowers33.
Okay, and Michael Cook, thanks for coming on. Hope you enjoyed it. And how can people find you on the Twitter?
They can find me on @the_Cook.
At the M Cook, okay, and making a successful debut, the Paige of the Sunday Segue, winning in on his first show, Darren Dyer. And how can people get hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter @Axel Mulligan.
Okay, so at Axel Mulligan. Anyone want to give a shout out to Kinny or any feedback on, just not being hosted by the great one? James, we've done 60. Well, this is the 70th show, so we've had 69 shows of oppression from Kinny, and now how does it feel to finally be free?
On top of the world.
Top of the world. We dropped a C-bomb within 3 minutes. We won't be able to get away with that with Kinny. But yeah, so next week, hopefully, unless he has his second child, we'll be back to normal with Kinny.
Or there could be a car boot somewhere, you never know.
Yeah, there might be another car boot sale where he has to sell his dreadlocks or something like that. So there's no in the words of, or I might add one on later because I didn't have time to do it. But all it goes to say, thanks for listening, guys, and don't forget, at Sunday Segue, follow us on Twitter and give us those iTunes ratings.